Okay, in this video, we will solve trig functions mentally. So the first one we have is sine 5 pi over 4. And in order to solve this mentally, we treat 5 pi over 4 as pi over 4. Simply, we ignore this and we say pi over 4. And so we know that sine pi over 4 would be square root of 2 divided by 2. This table we should have memorized by now. And so the next step is whether this is going to be negative or positive. And so we do this by the thing we said, all students take calculus. So we know that 5 pi over 4, so now we're looking at 5 pi over 4, is going to be in this quadrant. It's going to be in the quadrant for t, so take or tan. Since we have sine, it's therefore going to be negative. So the answer will be, for sine 5 pi over 4, will be negative square root of 2 divided by 2. Since 5 pi over 4 is only positive for tan. So the next problem is cosine 7 pi over 4. So it's going to be in this quadrant, and it's going to be, the reference angle will be pi over 4. And we know that pi over 4 for cosine is the square root of 2 divided by 2. And the next step is determine whether this is going to be negative or positive. Since we're in the fourth quadrant, and this quadrant is positive only for C, cosine theta or calculus. Therefore, this will be positive. So the answer will be the square root of 2 divided by 2. And the last question is tan pi over 3. So our reference angle is pi over 3. And tan pi over 3 is the square root of 3. And since we're in quadrant 1, everything is positive. Sine is positive, cosine is positive, and tan is positive. And so therefore our answer would simply be the square root of 3. And that's all we need to do to solve a few trig functions mentally. And an important note, with all of these questions, our reference angle was like pi 6, pi 4, pi 3. And that's why we're able to solve this question mentally.